Yes, people, how we doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Friday the 16th of August. Manchester United kick off the Premier League tonight against Fulham. Well, I say we've made it through the summer. The summer's still got, 15 days until the close of the transfer window. We've got 4 signings in, and we are kicking off the Premier League season tonight. I'll be here after the game. Of course I will. United playing Fulham at Old Trafford at 8 p.m. This show is going to be a really busy and a really interactive one. I'm going to cover the transfer news. And we're going to have a discussion to start the show about Ugarte, about Sancho, about McTominay. And then I'm going to run through the Athletics, Laurie Whitwell's really big deep dive article on Inside Manchester United. Going to be looking at that. And then we're going to be doing the season predictions, but the community season predictions. Lots of polls, so make sure you get involved. It's going to be interactive today. Going to run through those. We'll speak about where we're going to finish in the league, FA Cup, Europa League, best player, biggest surprise player, breakthrough player. That's going to be happening. And then we're going to go on to previewing the game. All the comments from Ten Hag about Xerxes, about De Ligt, Mazraoui, about Mason Mount, about the whole game itself. And then we're going to preview the game. It's going to be a big one. It's a busy show here today. Who's here from the Mod Gang? Let's have a quick look. Carl, I saw you at the start of the show. Anna, you're there as well. Josh, you'll be there as always. Klein, good morning to you, dude. I can see you there. And good morning to you. I'm Potato gifting a few memberships down there. I can see you, dude. And also Shax, man. Whoo! I'm excited about this season. I am excited about this season. Anybody asking about Ten Hag's comments, we're going to save that for later in the show, all right? So it's not that I'm ignoring your questions, but that's going to be for the second part of today's show because there's a lot going on. I need to do that one there. Right. Who's here from the member gang? Matt, Keith, we've got MC Mick. Hype. Kenny, Natasha, good morning to you. Teresa, you're there as well. And on Facebook, we've got Thando, Kim, Prince, and Simon. And look at that, Teresa. You just gifted 5 memberships. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. It is a good morning. Let's get Casemiro to say hello to the show before we get in and we kickstart this one because it's going to be a good one.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Somebody needs to show him that video and get a reaction from him. That'd be quite funny. Now, before we start the show properly, I want to give you this. Right? Let me copy that. For anybody who hasn't joined it yet, make sure you join the Fantasy League. Everyone keeps asking me what the link is, and I've shared it plenty of times, and I'm sharing it one more time there. There's the link. I've just shared it on Facebook. I've just shared it on YouTube. The code is there as well. We're going to be doing prizes. Prize for the winner, spot prizes throughout the season. We're going to be following it properly on the Discord. I'm guessing there's like a Fantasy League channel in there. We can speak about, just join the Fantasy League. It'll be something fun across the course of the season, completely free to get involved in. And I think you'll enjoy it. Now, let's dive in and let's talk about transfers first and foremost. We're not going to spend too much time on transfers today because there's so much to run through in terms of season predictions and speaking about Fulham. Now, all summer long, you know full well that I have been praising and applauding how good Chelsea are in the transfer market. Like, I'm staggered by how good they are. I think everything they have done is correct. And I hope that they continue doing what they are doing because I think Jadon Sancho would be a perfect... Look, this is just whispers. It might just be waffle. Let's be completely honest. I don't even know who the bloke is. Moffiziel. It's noise around Sancho and Chelsea. And I'm looking at this going, what on earth? But then I step back and go, of course, Sancho would be a great player for them. I mean, it would be the, 47th signing that they've made since Todd Bowley took over. But Chelsea, I think Chelsea will, there's no chance they get into the top 4 this season unless they sign Sancho. Just a personal prediction. All right? I would be, I don't know what noise just came out of my mouth there. I have no expectation of Sancho going to Chelsea. And what a strange rumour to come around. Sancho must I don't know, self-reflection and all of that. When it all kicked off with Erik Ten Hag and he refused to apologise, he got frozen out. Then he went to Dortmund And he played in the Champions League final, and they hyped him up. They blew hot air up his ass. They did everything. We never forgot your game. We were familiar with your game. And they massaged his ego so much that it felt, as far as he was concerned, Dortmund are definitely going to put in a bid for me in the summer. And they never did. They never had any intention of doing that. They actually looked completely elsewhere. Okay, right. I'll go back to United then. We'll do that. Or PSG, they might want me. PSG don't want to pay for him as well. Like, nobody wants to pay for Jadon Sancho. And it's probably largely down to the red flags that exist with Jadon Sancho, but also partly to do with the fact that Manchester United have got him on so much money that there aren't many teams who can afford that because he won't take that sort of wage cut. Dortmund, all talk and no action. Exactly, man. It's just like Dortmund were just gaslighting Sancho for months. It's ridiculous. Shabugan. That is a great username. Shabugan. Gifted 5 memberships, and Ashok, you gifted 5 too. And Ryan, you gifted 1 as well. Everyone's feeling chirpy this morning.
Lenny.
I should really take that one off, shouldn't I? Until he's back in fit. I'm going to speak about Lenny Oren a little bit now. But Jadon Sancho. Gaslighted. Manuel Ugarte. You can see the name of the show. There is absolutely no way that Manchester United are finished this summer. At all. I can see 800 people, 800 of you voted on that poll, and 95% of you like the video, so we are winning tonight. It's all done and dusted. You heard it here first. But there's no way that United are done this summer, all right? I know it's frustrating that we don't have a midfielder in, but we are going to be bringing in a midfielder, right? The frustration is the fact that it's not done yet. The frustration, the fact that we're playing Fulham on the first game of the season and we haven't got that midfield signing in yet. But Ugarte certainly is that one, all right? From Fabrizio here, you saw Fabrizio yesterday. It is such a shame. If I'm being totally honest, it is such a shame what has happened to Fabrizio. Yesterday, just retweeting an Ugarte post. Absolutely nothing new to add to it. But just retweeting to get the engagement back up, to get the noise back up, even though there is no noise to really be had. And it adds to the frustration. As I've told you that, imagine if I did 3 shows a day, you'd probably hate my guts. Well, you wouldn't hate my guts. But I would be adding to the frustration because nothing's happened on Ugarte. Last week it did, and we spoke about that. Jorge Mendes coming to England. Jorge Mendes really is pushing for us. And this is from The Athletic here, right? Saying Jorge Mendes was a key figure in the move for Euro and is also handling Ugarte's career. Despite United's insistence that the asking price is too high, people connected to the situation report that Mendes is trying to engineer that deal and a resolution is still possible closer to the deadline. So the deadline's actually August 30th, so we've only got 14 days left. 2 weeks left, right? 2 weeks left of the transfer window. And we need, if I'm being totally honest, I think we go back to this, right? Let's have a look at the active board. I can take Fofana off that because Fofana now, here we go to AC Milan, don't we? Right? So Fofana, vamos. You're gone. Sanderberg, he's there as seemingly an alternative and a backup to Ugarte. Rios Zubimendi, I'm going to just take Zubimendi off completely. There's no point having his name on there. That's kind of as it stands. Amrabat, yeah, there's no point having Amrabat on there either. Ugarte is the one that United want. That's been abundantly obvious for some time now and is the one that we are waiting for. And if it's not going to be him, it may well be Berg. But on top of looking at this, in my opinion, I'd love United to sign 2 central midfielders. That seems unlikely, so we're probably going to sign 1. But then there is lots in terms of sales that we are still waiting for. I really do think Lindelof will be gone and Hannibal will be gone. Those, to me, seem like the definites. I know Hannibal, there's not been any noise, but I'd be amazed. There's just no place for him in the squad, and he can't, at the age, he's 21 now, he's got to play regular football. He feels mature enough to play regular football. I think he'll be leaving. So Lindelof and Hannibal, I think, will be 2 definites who leave. Pellistri should be leaving. There's no space for him now. Again, Pellistri, time in his career, move elsewhere. Those three should definitely be leaving. McTominay, I think, could be leaving if the price is right. And there's so many clubs linked to him. It may well be that we can't sign Ugarte until McTominay leaves, which I don't know whether that's true or not. But there should be 5 people leaving, and should be at least one more signing. So I think in my opinion, I would expect between 4 and 6 more transfer deals, signings and sales from Manchester United. And it will probably make it the biggest, I'd argue it probably already is in a long time, the biggest shift that we've had in the squad in terms of 4 major signings that could all be first-team players, and the likes of Martial leaving, Varane leaving, Van der Beek, Deadwood, Cambuala, a bit like Pellistri, moving on for his career. A bit like Hannibal, moving on for his career. Greenwood, Deadwood, Wan-Bissaka, replacement. A lot more should be happening. And it's from everything we're reading and hearing about McTominay, Napoli really want him. Conte really wants him. And it seems the most likely destination right now, but we don't quite know yet. I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out there. MC Ward, how you doing, dude? Well, Wardy, you just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for getting involved. Everybody, I apologize about the fact that I haven't sent you the form yet. Make sure you go into the Discord after. Joe, if you're watching, we're going to be doing an announcement with the Google form where you can submit your soundboard entries. I'm going to be giving away a Stan Chow poster. It's already in the tube down there. Look at that. Going to be giving that away to somebody who submits the best soundbite, and it can be anything. There's rules written on the form, and it's very easy to do. You just upload it to there. Is McTominay not alone? There's no chance that McTominay leaves on loan. I think I've already spoken about that before. Sancho or Anthony, who goes first? I think United are going to struggle to get rid of both of them, really. Right, let me see what else is being said down here. Right. Okay, I'm going to run through a little bit of this next, right? As I said, we're going to have to fire through the show today because there's so many talking points. The Athletic dropped a massive article this morning. I already read through it. And it's sort of like an inside Manchester United's summer upheaval, right? It discusses all the football structure changes. It discusses the impact of Omar Barada. It discusses transfers and recruitment. It discusses the whole process behind transfers. It discusses the redundancies. And there's a lot that's involved in this. And I'm just going to pick out some key points. If you want to read it, I will drop the link in the video chat now. Right, that's in the chat. So if you want to read it, make sure you go and read that. But there's some key points you can take from this here, right? Let me just get rid of that. Just some key talking points. The mood among the staff at United has been severely shaken, but those fearing further redundancies have been told there are no such plans. It's probably been one of the most contentious points this summer, I would say. Reducing the workforce by around about 20%. I think it was necessary to a certain degree, but I imagine there's going to be a lot of good people who have been put out by kind of how clinical it has been, which is written quite extensively in the article. Some people feel sort of disrespected, but truth be told, right, ladies and gents, there is no a right way or no great way to do redundancies, right? You're people losing their jobs. Even if you did it with a bunch of roses and a bottle of wine, they'd still be losing their jobs. And it was necessary. Manchester United had the most bloated workforce compared to equally sized clubs. So it needed to happen. Imagine that down there. It was in the article that the Glazers had a team who were dedicated to handling them, which has now been cut. At least, I don't know whether it's cut 100%, but it's been cut in size. So the Glazers had a team, like if the Glazers wanted to go to a game or they wanted a friend or a family member to go and watch training, there was a team dedicated to handling those requests. And you want to talk about bloat. Boy, I mean, it sounds, quite frankly, ridiculous. It's like a team of personal assistants, effectively, for the Glazers. Ineos came in and went, get out of it. Now, that down there, the one that's in green, is going to annoy a lot of people, and it's annoyed me, really. A lot. New signing Lenny Yoro was known to have a potential metatarsal injury in his foot upon arrival, but United pushed ahead with it anyway. Now, that would explain why Manchester United only used, or Lenny Yoro was only involved in around about 50% of the sessions, training sessions, when he arrived, and he went out to America. So I suppose my question would be, well, why was he starting the games then? And my question would be, well, why was he involved in any games whatsoever? And everybody's going to be looking at Erik ten Hag for this as well and pointing the finger at Erik ten Hag. And Erik ten Hag, any player that Erik ten Hag uses or doesn't use will be on the recommendations of the medical department. That is how things work. I mean, he could make his own call if he wanted to, but it would just be quite strange. But that's frustrating, man. I mean, it is frustrating. I don't mind the fact that we didn't sign Lenny Yoro. So I don't mind the fact that, Lenny Yoro's got a metatarsal injury. Oh, great. Well, we're not going to sign him then. He can go somewhere else. I don't think it would be bad enough or long enough to stop him having a career at United, but maybe it means that Manchester United, not maybe, it should have been handled a little bit differently. Look, Lou Hopper, with a comment down there, which is really important. Maybe Lenny really wanted to play. Look, man, I always use Wayne Rooney as the example here. Wayne Rooney would have had a broken toe. I mean, you remember after he did his metatarsal against Bayern Munich, and then he tried to make himself fit for England, and Rooney just wasn't there. He wasn't 100%. He was playing through pain. Players will always want to play, but that is what management is about. Medical department. I know you. I don't doubt that you want to play up there, but physically you are not ready. You have to wait and rest. And I'm bad for it as well, man. Someone tells me to rest. I'm in my recovery. Don't run before you can walk. I always try and accelerate too much, and sometimes I go, balls. I think I'll push that a bit too hard, and it puts you back a bit. It's just frustrating to hear that. But that's what happened. That's the Euro bit done there. This bit's quite interesting as well down here. In fact, let me read some of your comments out. Why hasn't the medical department been rebuilt yet? Well, it has. We've got Gary Driscoll's in. We've got a new head physio. I think there's a couple of other changes as well. But I don't know. It's just frustrating, I think. If United knew that there was a potential metatarsal injury, only played him in 50% of sessions, and then he breaks his metatarsal, I mean, you got to look at yourself and go, well, we balls that up, didn't we? Don't know. The academy signing of Arsenal striker Chido Obi Martin was unlikely to have happened under the previous regime. And a little bit more information on that, right? Another area of change this summer is in youth recruitment. United are in the process of signing Obi Martin. They have agreed personal terms with the player before looking to settle on compensation with Arsenal. A situation that would not have occurred under the previous regime. United's past approach at academy level meant waiting for club-to-club agreements, and they often shied away from potentially difficult deals. And the Obi Martin one is, if I'm looking at two signings which, in my opinion, do have a statement in their own right. Lenny Yoro is one, because we've got an 18-year-old there who is considered a generational defensive talent by a lot of clubs and a lot of pundits and everybody else in Europe. And he chose Man United as a place that he can develop. And then Obi Martin, who was a goal-scoring phenomenon and a record breaker at youth team level. He sees the pathway at Manchester United. So it's good. And again, I talk about this. I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again. I don't understand when this changed, but this was tapping up before, and I'm guessing just that transfer rules of, I don't know. It still doesn't make sense to me because I've never seen like an official announcement on it saying that tapping up doesn't exist anymore, that you can agree personal terms with the player before even asking a club whether you're allowed to sign him or not. I mean, you couldn't do that before. That was literally tapping up. It was illegal. You were not allowed to do it. But United have done it with Obi Martin. United have done it with other signings this summer as well. It's just transfers have changed and how they work has changed. But that's a good thing. But yeah, if you get some time, I'd encourage you to go and read that. You'll learn a lot more about the inner workings of Manchester United and what's going on. And there's way too much for me to run through in this video. And also, I think I'd be doing the article a disservice. There's a lot of work and research that's gone into that. I'm always a little bit wary of certain articles that I shouldn't cover on the channel. Nuruddin, good morning to you, my man. What are you saying down here in the comments? It struck me yesterday that Scott is on his last year of his contract, so he can't really be loaned out. We can extend by 1 year, right? When is Obi Martin getting confirmed, says Rich? We don't know right now. I think it's just waiting for Premier League ratification, but it should happen at some point. And when it does, you want to check out the video that I've got on him. Woo, sitting on a good one. Right. Let's get in to the big part of today's show, which is going to be really fun. I think so anyway. All right. We are going to be doing live community predictions. Now, at lunchtime today, I'm going to drop my predictions video for the season. All right, and I'm going to run through all of these, where I think United will finish Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, best player, surprise or improved player, and breakthrough player. But we're going to do it today as a community together. And we're going to start with the Premier League. So what I'm going to do is start some polls. Premier League, where do you think United are going to finish? Now, you can only get 4 options on the polls, so remember that when I type these in. I don't think there's any chance United finish first or second. So I'm going to put down 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then 6th or lower, right? So they're the 4 options that I can put in, because you can only put 4 options in a poll. So I'm not going to do a full table in... I'm going to do my own full table, but we're not going to run through 1 to 20. We'll be here for about 4 hours this morning, all right? Where do you think United will finish? Get your answers in the poll, and we'll check out in a couple of minutes' time. And I'll also read some comments that you're sending in. I'm Potato Dude. My man. What's this? I don't even know what this soundbite is anymore. But you just gifted 20, man. Let's bring this up. I think this might be Garnacho.
Talent for Garnacho! Oh, wow! Oh, wow!
Yes, it is.
That is one of the great goals in front of a stunned Gladys Street.
Guys, there's no point telling me what I could have put in the poll. I can't change the poll now. I'm not going to take it down and restart a poll. I appreciate the input, but no, that's not going to happen. Just choose one of the options. Don't tell me I should have done this instead. Appreciate it. And Captain... It's like a food army in here, man. Captain Steakbake versus I'm a Potato. Going for the heavyweight championship. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well, dude. Right. So, there is no first or second, okay? As optimistic as I am, I'm being realistic. Don't go crazy down here in the comments, all right? Go away. Sam, take it down. God, you lot are hard to please. You seriously are hard to please. Right, I'm going to end the vote now, and I can see that we are... So these are going to be quick votes, all right? So you have to get involved. Don't sit and wait. 700 votes are in, and 52% of you have gone for third. Fourth, 37% of you are going, 8% of you are going 5th, and 2% of you are going 6th or lower, right? So third is where you are saying 52% of you, of the community down here, have gone for Premier League, a 3rd place finish, all right? That's your first prediction. Second prediction is Europa League. Positive thinking. I mean, I know positive thinking. I also know that United are not going to be winning the league this year. Europa League, right? Winners. There's one. Runners up. Quarterfinals. Or round of 16. Is that what it is? No, semi-finals. Semi-final. Quarterfinal or less. Right? There's your 4 options. There's only 4 options. Don't shoot me. Right? I'll be totally honest. If I'm looking at silverware potential this season, I mean, look, we've won the FA Cup. We've won the League Cup. I think Eric Ten Hag would really, really want and love a European trophy. He's completed the domestic cups, completed it, mate. Done. Europa League, let's have a quick look. I think I've already looked at this before, but let's see if I can pull this up. I think this will be interesting to do. Let's have a quick look at the teams who have qualified so far. Europa League. Qualified teams. Because I don't think everyone's in it yet. Playoffs, third round. Well, that's just confusing. Right, there you go. These are the teams that are already in the league phase. So we've got Athletic Bilbao, Alkmaar, Frankfurt, Porto, Hoffenheim, Lazio, Lyon, United, Nice, Olympiacos, Sociedad Roma, and Spurs, which should technically be the hardest teams inside this competition, because remember that no teams dropped down from the Champions League this year. That's what's different about the Europa League. Let me see what you're saying in the poll. Right, it's been up for a couple of minutes. Right then, 1 minute into the poll. Said that 3 times. 800 votes, and 74% of you are saying winners. 15% of you are saying semi-final, but 74% of you, that's a big one, you are saying that we are winning the Europa League. Right, that's the second one done. Next up on the list, you can see it there, it's the FA Cup. Bam! Manchester United, current FA Cup holders. Do you think we're going to do it again? FA Cup. So, winners, semi-final, quarter-final, or worse. Right? Where do you think we're getting to? Well, FA Cup starts in Jan, right? I think it starts in Jan. There is no winter break this year. I think Jan is, I mean, December's always the busy period. You always get that fixture pile up in December. That's standard. That's par for the course. But I think there's also a bit of a fixture pile up in January. And if we get to the knockouts of the Europa League, that starts in Feb, I think. The finals of the League Cup will be in Feb. So the later knockouts will be in Jan. Man, there's a lot. Stop telling me things I'm missing off, or I'm going to ban you from the comments, Ian. All right? I can't see us winning the FA Cup final this season. I think priorities will be League and Europa League. And remember that the Europa League's got even more fixtures, 2 extra fixtures because of the new league stage. I think with the pile-ups of the games that are going to come this year, I think we're going to struggle in the domestic cups. Personal. Oh, that's a tight poll there. That's a really tight poll. I'll let that go for another 100 votes, because currently 41% of you are saying we'll go to the semi-final, and 40% of you are saying that we will win it again, back to back. When was the last time United won the FA Cup back to back? Have we ever? We must have. I don't think there can't be that many teams that have done that, if I'm being totally honest. Kev, isn't it amazing how much optimism you can have on the eve of the season? Trebles come in. This is it, man. You know what I mean? But look, I'm going to call it on that one, but that is as tight as it can get. All right? 42% of you said, look, 41% of you said semi-final, and 40% of you said winners. So, that's where you think we're going to get to. Right, next up, League Cup. League Cup. What do you think about the League Cup? All right, let's get this in the comments. Start a poll. League Cup. Winners. Semi. Quarters. Worse than quarters. Bam, 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 bam. League Cup is where I would love to properly see youth team players play. I've already done my sort of like how Ten Hag will or can evolve this season, and in my opinion, rotation is going to be a big part of that. In his first season, Ten Hag didn't trust anybody. He only just about had a starting 11, so we played our starting 11 every single game, and they faded towards the end of the season as a consequence. Last season, I still don't particularly think there was too much rotation, but that was because injuries were savage and we didn't have anybody to rotate with. So first 2 seasons, there was no rotation in really at all. This season, we have to see that rotation. We have to see Ethan Wheatley in here, Toby Collier starting the game, Harry Amass starting the game. Get them through. Even if we come up against the Liverpool team or someone like that, have trust in them. That's how you can really develop these players. And it's only the League Cup. If we get knocked out of it, we get knocked out of it. We've already won it before, but it could be big for their development. I think so anyway. Abdul's saying don't really care about that trophy. We've won it before, mate. Harry Mash will finish top scorer in the Carabao Cup. MC Mick, you are drunk this morning. By the looks of it, we're winning the lot. Everyone in here is, I like optimism. We are hype. 1 minute in. Well, it looks like we're doing a cup double then, because 41% of you have said that we're going to be winning the League Cup. So that's good to know, right? League Cup. Winning it, mate. Everyone's feeling drunk this morning. Now, this is going to be hard to do, all right? Because I can only put 4 options down. So don't ever go at me for what I'm doing here, because I've already written this down, and this is the best way I think of doing it. Who do you think is going to be our best player this season, right? And I'm going to write down 4 options for you. I'm going to go for Bruno, Martinez, a new signing, and the 4th option will be Garnacho or Mainu. That's, in my opinion, it's the best way for me to get as many players in as possible. But Bruno was our best player of the season last season. Of course he was. Bruno's probably favourite, in my opinion, to be the best player again. I can't look past Bruno. I really can't. But let me read your comments down here. Best player is Onana, says Clayton. Onana's going to have a massively improved season. I think he really, really will. Tunes, you're saying De Ligt, new signing. Sheikh, you're saying Mainu. Michael, you're saying Ahmad. Ian, you think Garnacho's going to have a mega season. So does Nastro. De Ligt, says Shah. Quite a few of you are saying De Ligt. I mean, I'm excited, man, about De Ligt. Truth be told, that there's a massive part of me that's pessimistic because I've been stung so many times by signings that I'm excited about, and they don't ever really quite live up to expectation. I don't think there's many signings that have done that in Manchester United's recent history. Signings that have delivered that straight away. Bruno's one of them. Martinez is one of them. Ericsson was a free signing that was cheeky. Casemiro, he was slow to, but he did it in his first season. But I think typically players take time to settle at Manchester United. Now let me see what you're saying down here. As I said, this is going to be a hard poll to decide, right? I say that. 48% of you have gone Bruno, so it's actually quite easy. 48% said Bruno, 31% said Garnacho or Mainu, 14% said a new signing, and 7% said Martinez. So that's quite an easy win for Bruno on the best player of the year. And truth be told, I think you're all right. I think that is definitely it. Now, this one's going to be an interesting one, right? I've got a picture of Delo here because he was Man United's, I think, player of the season last season. I think he was. Right. Surprised or improved player. I don't really know what to title this one, but these are my options, right? I've got Ahmad, Onana, Rashford, or Casemiro. In my opinion, they are the 4 players that can have massively improved seasons on what they did last season, or Ahmad is down there because I think he's the player who... I could put him down as the breakthrough player, but I'm going to leave that for the youth team players. This one's going to be an interesting one, I think. Ahmad is definitely set for a heck of a season, man. And we've got a video being prepared on him. So fingers crossed he goes and smashes one in against Fulham, because when the video comes out next week, it will be perfect. And I think he believes in himself now. But then you look at Onana. Last season, I thought Onana was better in the league than people gave him credit for. But he was atrocious in the Champions League, and that's what people remembered him for. And also, Mate, sort your mid and long kicking out. I don't get it. I don't get how he overhits so many passes. I think Onana's going to be much better this year. Rashford can't really be any worse than last season. And neither can Casemiro. So I think in terms of most improved player, well, it's easy to choose one of those two. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Ahmad, Dipesh saying, do this with player ratings after the game. If we did it for player ratings after the game, we'll be here all day long. I'm going to start introducing interactive player ratings, and then we can bring them into the live show, the results. Need to figure out how to do that. Rashford says, another maniac. And I'll be honest, Jishin, that's a good one. I should have put it down there. Mason Mount. Mason Mount hardly had an impact last season. At all. Oyedele, I'll put him down as one of the options for the youth team players breaking through. But let me see what you're saying on the poll, right? 1 minute in, and, well, that's not even close. That's not even close. I think that's the biggest one so far. An absolute landslide for Ahmad, right? An absolute landslide for Ahmad. And we go down here for the last one. I've got a picture of Garnacho winning his goal of the season. Oh, very nice. But this is going to be for the breakthrough player. So, right, we had Garnacho 2 years ago. There you go. There's 4 options, in my opinion, for who it could be, right? You've got Toby Collier, you've got Harry and Mass, you've got Ethan Wheatley, and you've got Max Oyedele, or Maxi. I'd say they're the 4 youth players who, if there's going to be a breakthrough this season, and the quality of our academy right now, it feels like, I think United fans, expect is maybe the wrong word, but United fans can look forward to a youth team prospect genuinely emerging as a first team squad member every single season for the next few seasons. We've got such a quality and abundance of talent coming through, and the pathways look good. And if we were to fast forward to next year, Obi Martin's going to be 17. Ibrahimov hopefully will have a full season under his belt, and so will Shea Lacey. I would love to see Finley McAllister in and around the first team squad, but I think Toby Collier is a couple of years developed ahead of him. So Finley McAllister will be with the under-21s this season. Dan Gore. Hey, look, man, Dan Gore is a year behind now. He went to Port Vale, had an abysmal loan spell because he had I think he dislocated his shoulder and had surgery. So his development has been pushed back a bit. So Dan Gore's going to probably need another loan spell, and one that actually works for him. Let me see what you're saying in the comments here. No doubt it'll be Amas, says Rushan. Ross, you're saying Collier's up next. Amas maybe next season. And remember that Amas is only 17. Like people, Amas didn't play at all. And then next season comes around and he goes, Amas is only 18 still. Totally fine. Because it is totally fine. Collier due to an injured Casemiro, says Steven Tyler. Big up Aerosmith. Collier looked good against it. I think Collier did look good. Let me see what you're saying in the poll then. It's quite close. But there is a winner. And you've gone for Toby Collier. So the breakthrough player you've got down there as Toby Collier. So ladies and gents, that was fun. That right there is the interactive community predictions. You think that we're going to have a bonza season. We're finishing 3rd. We're winning the Europa League. We're winning the League Cup. And we're getting to the FA Cup semi-final. We're nearly on for a treble of cups, and we finished 3rd. Jeez. If someone says the FA Cup poll's still live, I can't stop that because it's not live on my end. All right. Why would that still be live? Is that still... You're making me check now. View channel. No, there's no FA Cup poll live. You be lying to me, Carl. It's not live on my end. Refresh your computer. Right. That was fun. And my personal predictions are going to be going out at lunchtime today. All right, I'm going to run through my full Premier League table, 1 to 20, and where are all these ones I ran through there. That was fun. Now, if you can, please drop a like on the video. I would appreciate it because it makes a big, big difference. But we can now move on to the second part of the show, and we can preview the Fulham game. What are you saying down here? We're only finishing 3rd because Sam wouldn't let us win. That's true enough. If I put down 1st as a bloody option on that poll, you would have chosen United to win the league, which is not going to happen. But anyway, Ladies and gents, the Premier League is indeed back. I say it's been largely a very, very positive summer for United. Pre-season was a massively mixed bag. I mean, I think I've already spoken about this before, but even if you go and beat every team in pre-season, which I think we did under Louis van Gaal, it doesn't actually mean anything. But let's do a poll down here this morning, right? Let's see what final poll of the day. You have never had this many polls in a show before. I was going to make some sort of joke about Poland there, but I couldn't think of it quick enough. Thought I'd let you know. Result tonight. Okay. Manchester United win. You're only getting 3 options here, so stuff it. Manchester United win, draw, or a Fulham win. Let's see what you choose down there. But let's talk about it, all right? I'm going to run through Erik ten Hag's pre-match press conference, see what he had to say, and then also run through my starting 11. Yeah, it's not map day today, it's poll day. Good news is that De Ligt and Mazraoui are both going to be in the squad to face Fulham. Now, we don't know whether they're going to be fit to start, but they're going to be fit to be in the squad. And if you're fit to be in the squad, then you're fit to play minutes. We just don't know how many. I would love to see both of them start, right? I don't know whether they will. Harry Maguire also being fit, it's good news. So that means that Manchester United are going into this game with 3 fit senior centre-backs. I mean, Johnny Evans is the most senior of all of them, but it looks like our 4 options tonight will be De Ligt, Martinez, Maguire, and Evans. That's good. Now, somebody mentioned this at the start of the show, and I said I'd mention it later, and here we are. Erik ten Hag saying, look, the team's not ready. The league is starting. There are more managers that have to deal with this problem. Still, we have some rules and principles. We have to make a start. We can't hide ourselves or run away with it. We have to deal with it. Why are people losing their mind? It almost feels like there's a lot of people that kind of Ten Hag is damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Erik ten Hag said here that I'm super confident about this team, we've gelled well, we're feeling very confident, they'll be like, oh, why is Erik ten Hag overconfident? If Erik ten Hag here says the team is not ready, then, oh my God, why is Erik ten Hag being so defeatist? It's like, people love to complain. And I honestly do think, and this is the truth, people look into what managers say in press conferences like way too much. Like, managers just sometimes outright lie to divert you away from what's actually going on. Ten Hag's quite an honest person, so I wouldn't say he does that per se. But, man, the team isn't ready, man. Our preseason was so disjointed. Euros, Xerxes not even played yet. I'll speak about Xerxes next. De Ligt's only just come in on Tuesday with Mazraoui. I mean, it's completely fair to say that the team is not ready. Doesn't take away from the fact that there's going to be a buzz and excitement about that game on Friday, tonight. But, I don't know, it's just, what do you want him to say? Nah, our team is so unbelievably ready for this game. They're not. And neither Xerxes, apparently. Which we kind of knew already. He hasn't played a game for United yet. I would love to see Xerxes. Would I love to see Xerxes? What do you think? Type in the comments. Do you want Xerxes to start, or do you want Xerxes coming off the bench for the last 20? Now, you might say that that's probably going to be an easier environment for him, a little bit less intense, a little bit less chaotic. The first 20 minutes of tonight, it should be fast and furious. And that's something I really, really, really want to see at Old Trafford this season. I've spoken about this quite a lot. I want to see United trying to put teams to the sword in the first 20 minutes. Because if you score early at Old Trafford and the crowd gets behind you, it becomes very intimidating. Erik ten Hag saying, look, it's his 3rd week in training. You can see him stepping up. He's improving, but he needs minutes. I had him in my starting 11. Actually, no, did I? I can't remember if I did. I think I want to see him make his debut tonight, but I think it probably will come off the bench. I think so. Jordan, can see you gifted a membership, dude. Thank you very much. I'm not doing another poll. Right? Too many polls. Too many polls. I think I agree with most of you down there. I think you'll probably see him come off the bench. Probably going to see Mount and Bruno starting up front. Now, if you look at something in United this pre-season, a bit of a common factor that happened in the City game, happened in the Liverpool games, we made chances, man. We made way many more chances than we scored. And some of them were finishes that we should have taken. Rashford in particular, and with a couple against City. And Erik ten Hag has pulled that out as a point of improvement. Now, that Rude can only go so far with the attacking coaching, getting the players in the mindset, helping them cope with these situations, what to think and how to shoot and all that jazz. It ultimately comes down to the players. And United have to be better and we have to be more clinical. Bring that. Of course, we may well be starting the game tonight without a recognised centre forward, because we might play the two false nines in Mount and Bruno. So how can you expect United to be more clinical when you start a game when you don't have a recognised number 9 or recognised striker? It kind of goes, you know what I mean? It's a little bit, well, what do you want? If you want more clinical, then you have to get your finishers on the pitch. Well, Højlund's injured for 6 weeks, and Xerxes not fit to start yet. Be interesting. Sheikh, you're actually talking about Mazraoui down there, and I did it when I chose my sort of what I think is the strongest United team. If everybody was fit and available right now, and I spoke about Mazraoui being the left-back option, and Erik ten Hag speaks about it here. Does anyone else get the sort of... I almost get the sneaky feeling that we might see Martinez playing left-back on more than one occasion this season when Yoro and De Ligt are both fit. I could almost see United sometimes using a back four of Martinez, Yoro, De Ligt, and either Delo or Mazraoui. Don't know. But anyway, he's spoken about how Mazraoui brings options on the left-hand side, and I thought this quote here was in particular quite interesting. He's speaking about Mazraoui's ability when put under pressure. And it's in these situations where you notice between good footballers and great footballers. When they've got two players bearing down on them and there's pressure on the ball and everybody's looking at them and they don't just panic and boot it back to the goalkeeper. Sometimes they can body feint and shift it into space. Sometimes they can do a quick 1-2, a quick triangle pass and get around that press. And Erik ten Hag was complimenting Mazraoui's ability when he's under pressure. He's like, basically, you can't really put him under pressure because he's very good at finding a way out of said pressure. I think Mazraoui will start tonight. And personal prediction is that he'll start at left back. Might be wrong. May well be Delo. But we're going to have options there for sure. And what's this one here? Mason Mount. I do think there's a chance, probably more of a chance that Mason Mount starts tonight than Xerxes, right? Erik ten Hag saying that he's had a whole entire preseason. He stayed fit. Everyone knows it. Everyone supports him. Anybody who wants the fantasy link, go into Discord. It's in there. All right. I've already dropped it in this show. It's already been in the comments. I can't do it again. I can't do a million things. Let me run through my team. Right. This was my prediction for the starting 11 tonight, and I didn't have Xerxes starting the game. I had him on the bench. I had a back five of Onana Mazraoui at left back, Martinez left centre back, De Ligt right centre back, and Delo. That's the back five, and a midfield two of Casemiro and Mainu. I think that will be the case. I actually feel pretty confident about my front four too. Garnacho and Ahmad as the two wide players, with Bruno and Mount as the two false nines. And this just feels like the shape that United have to use this season, that should be using this season, because, first of all, it mitigates a lot of the problems we had last season. Huge spaces in between the lines and all of the tactical issues we saw. And it also puts players in the right positions. I think Bruno and Mount as two false nines keeps them high up the pitch, allows them to press together, and actually I think gets the most out of both of them. I don't want to see Bruno dropping in between our centre-backs again this season. Sod that. Getting further up the pitch. Ahmad and Garnacho. Keep them wide. Allow them to run at defenders. Fine. You've got Delo and Mazraoui on the overlap. And importantly, you've got Casemiro and Mainu in midfield as a duo. No singular midfielder anymore. Even if we sign Ugarte, it's not a lone number 6. It's two central midfielders playing alongside each other. That's what I want to see. Now, my prediction for the game was 1-0 to United. I'd love to see us keep a clean sheet tonight. I'd love to see that. If there's something I think that was good from the game against City was there was a lot of good build-up play. Passing out from the back, actually creating chances through patterns rather than just a quick ball up front and a ball in behind. Great, let's go. Like a counter-attack. Rashford could well start, all right? But Garnacho came off the bench against City. Impactful. Scored a goal. I would like to see Garnacho start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rashford starts. I don't think it'll be a terrible thing either, because then Garnacho can come off the bench. We'll have options there. But I think Ahmad will definitely start on that right-hand side, and I think he deserves it too. Let me see what you're saying with the poll. Well, don't sit on the fence or anything. 1,200 votes are in the first 10 minutes, and 95% of you are saying United to win. I'm backing United win. I'm going for a 1-0. It's just going to be good to see football back. It will, won't it? I'm excited about it. You're excited about it. It's going to be multiple debuts. Whether it's, well, maybe not multiple. I think it will be. We'll definitely see one debut tonight. And we could well see 3. Obviously, I can't see Yoro because he's injured. 2-0 says Flocky and Rushton. 5-1 says Ricky. Oh, man, if it's 5-1 tonight, I'm getting hypey. I'm excited. I really, really, really want to see United go out from the blocks firing tonight. It's always annoyed me. You talk about the United identity. I think that's a big thing that we've lost. Say that. We were undefeated at Old Trafford in Erik ten Hag's first season. He genuinely made it a fortress again. But too many teams feel comfortable coming to Old Trafford. And just when United go to Anfield, every time we go there, I go with the same mentality. Don't concede in the first 15 minutes. All right? And once you've done that, ease yourself into the game. I don't think many teams think that coming to Old Trafford anymore, and I want that to change. But that was a bit... I'm not sure I've had a busier show and still managed to get it all done in 50 minutes. That's worth a like on the video. And to wrap it all up... Lenny. That's the wrong button. But Lenny anyway. That's enough of Map Day song. Map Day, ladies and gents. Firing where you're watching from, the city and the country. I will get 3 of you on the map. I did not forget. As if I've forgotten. I know that Fulham aren't no mugs. They ain't no mugs. They got Emil Smith-Rowe, who'll be making his full competitive debut. They got Amad Traore, who can come off the bench probably. Iwobi will start. Rodrigo Muniz. It's going to be an interesting team. Of course, Andreas Pereira coming back. Let me see where you're watching from. We've got Umura watching from Richards Bay in South Africa on Facebook. Richards, as if Richard gets a whole bay. It's just selfish. Where's Sam's Bay? Is there a Sam's Bay anywhere? Don't know. Maybe not. We've got Graham watching from Bundaberg in Queensland. Bundaberg, isn't that nice? I swear that's a really good drink. Is that cider? Bundaberg. Or is that beer? I think it's a beer. Can't remember. Let's get one more on here as well. We've got Shadow Shiny watching from Tara Hara in Nepal. Awesome. Man, can you imagine climbing Mount Everest? I go out of breath looking at it. Anyway, that's wicked. Jay, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships, dude. Ginger beer, is that what it is? I want to look at what Bundaberg is now. Bundaberg. Ginger beer. I kind of want one of those now. Anyway. I'm looking forward to it tonight. My prediction's 1-0. I'm going to run through my full season predictions in a lunchtime video. Going to get that out for 12, so you've got enough time to watch it before the game. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been an enjoyable summer. I've loved what we've done here on United People's TV, and I've loved what you've all helped us build together. Community's getting stronger, and United start off with a win at Old Trafford. Come on. Don't ruin my first weekend in the Premier League.